recording. So this is going to go on my podcast, most likely, depending on how it goes. So I just want you all to be prepared for that. If for any reason after you get to speak or you ask a question and you're uncomfortable with it, please let me know in the moment. Because if you don't let me know in the moment that it's something you don't want produced, then you have to know that it's going out on the podcast. Okay. So that's my disclaimer for all of you right now on the recording, on the call. We have Dawn, Kim, Donna, Deb, Jean, Linda. Hi, Linda. Nice to meet you. Marsha and Noah. The reason why I do that for the podcast is because I find that a lot of people get a lot of benefit from these calls, but they don't necessarily get invited to do these specific things. So again, I am very much about safety. So if for any reason this makes you feel unsafe or you want to share, you just give me right away. You just say, hey, Marilyn, I really want to keep this private. And I will make sure they edit it out. But other than that, just be prepared that it will probably be on my podcast, depending on how it goes today. Okay, so I will do a podcast introduction. Actually, I won't do that. I'll do a special intro. This is the Genius Call. I've been doing these Genius Calls for a little bit now, and probably for a few years. And every time I do them, they're a little bit different. And they really are designed to completely break you through to an area. Let me just hold on. I got dogs, and I do let my dogs. Okay. They really are designed to help break you through to the part of you that you've dimmed your light. Everybody is born with a specific, and I think it can grow. So it's not like you're born with something and it can't grow, but there is a special gift inside of every single one of us. And how that gift manifests can be in various things. So it's not you're just clairvoyant, you're just clairaudient. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a type of service that you are capable of doing that is really branded specifically for you through your life experiences. It is something that excites you, that you're passionate about, that you're inspired by, and it grows and changes as you grow and change. And people tend to turn out the lights in different areas inside themselves based on different belief systems. And what happens then is that you may go out into a career or you may go out and try to do something, but it doesn't have all of you in it. Or you don't allow all of you to fully come through it as you are on the journey of doing it. So what that means is you may decide, I'm a healer, I'm a theta healer, that's it, I'm a theta healer. And then you go out and you become, I don't even know if there's theta healers anymore, but I use that all the time because I knew they were so specific in how they were allowed to work. And you go out and you're a theta healer and you stay in this programming of 5 years ago of what you learned, and you don't allow the evolution of your journey to really work through you to continue to increase your capabilities out in the world of how you can help others. And then there are things from your past, things you wanted to do that you think you're too old or you didn't do them or someone told you couldn't do them or you got a bad mark on a paper or whatever happened. And you think you can't revisit it and become even better at it. Or maybe you're not physically capable of becoming that basketball player you wanted to be, but the reasons why you wanted to become that basketball player may have importance for today. So this call is about you. It's a big topic, right? It's a huge topic. It's an evolving topic. It's not something that you're going to unpack today. You're going to unpack something today that's going to be dynamic. I really hope for that for all of you, because I haven't seen anybody walk away from these calls without unpacking something dynamic inside of them that they are excited to pursue. But the work doesn't stop here. This is where the journey begins. And what happens is it's up to you to take your intuitive being, your light intelligence, your infinite intelligence, your infinite wisdom, and to continue to evolve in it. And one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of that I'm really tired of seeing is how people stop themselves from being all that they're meant to be and more. And they allow somebody's comment, or maybe they compare themselves to someone, or they allow a belief system to come up and it stops them dead in their tracks, and then they fold. And they don't take that moment, that opportunity, that thing that's happening to catapult them further on their journey. So I'm going to share something real quick with you. So at the time of this recording, which is October 27th, I'm not looking at you guys because it helps me to focus sometimes, because I really read energy like, so I've been very, very transparent and honest about my own personal journey. And last night, some anxiety was coming up around a particular topic in a particular area. And it's a lot about my business, right? So I'm changing my business. I'm changing how I do my business. I actually just sent out an email that I'm offering readings again. I stopped doing personal readings a while ago, but I just did one a couple of weeks ago from an old client. And I was like, oh, I'm being called to do this again. So you never know, like, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get in there and start doing them again in the way that I am choosing to do them. And I'll tell you what I've learned. I won't do them at a detriment to myself ever again. And this is all part of the journey. I've been in business for about 15 years. So last night, this is something really important that I want you all to take away today as we move into this work. I was thinking about this internal struggle over this particular topic that has been a theme in my life for many, many years. And I started looking at it from a different perspective. And I said to myself, I'm deciding to not do that anymore. I'm deciding to be something else. And I'm not ready to reveal it yet because it's so new. And I usually will reveal once I'm more in it. But I made it, and I always know exactly where I am. So I was on the couch when the thought came up. And I'm like, I don't have to agree to this smallness anymore. I don't have to agree to this struggle. I don't have to agree and think that this is part of my life because it's been a pattern for so long. Let's get rid of it. And then I was walking up the stairs with the dogs to take them out. And I'm like, I'm deciding. And I just owned it completely. And when you do that, what happens then for me is I have a ritual at night that I do, and everything that spirit takes me to is a confirmation of what my decision it was and is now, and then an education on how I can pursue it further. So in this call today, I want you to decide on something, but I want you to decide from a place of commitment to yourself. It does not mean we set a goal and we fail. That's not what I'm asking you to do, because everybody fails. Everybody has moments of failure. It's not about that. It's commitment to self that you're worth it, and you're committing to see it through, no matter what shape it takes. Can everybody, I want in the chat now, can everybody, or nod your head, can you commit to something today that you will see through? Okay. Can somebody repeat to me one thing they heard me say that they feel was really beneficial for them at this moment? It would be really great if somebody could do that. Make it a sentence or two. Just because it's always good to repeat back what you hear, because everybody hears it differently. It's fascinating to me. Who wants to do that? Donna? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. Yeah, that we can make our choices and decide to do things and then own it because it is our choice to do it.
Yes. Can you see how that would create so much room in your life on the path?
Yes.
And then if something comes down, Donna, and works against it, what would you do with that moment?
That works against it, I'd refocus.
Great. That's it. We're in a place and a time where the externals do not dictate our journey. And I said this on a call the other day. If you're looking for the externals to give you value, you lose. The externals do not validate you. Other people don't validate you. Even if you're out there selling something, you want to validate a product, and you want to take a look at a product if it fails and find out why. You want to interview people. You want to make sure the product is going to give people results. You really want to really do your due diligence and be a business owner. But sometimes it's the wrong audience. Sometimes you're hitting up the wrong people. Sometimes you're selling something that you're not even in alignment with. I've done so many telesummits, and when I first did the telesummits, I was huge success. And then my sales dropped down to like barely anything. And so I started creating product based on what other people were selling, and that just did worse. You don't want to do that. Okay, great. Linda said, up to me to evolve. Don't stop myself or compare myself to someone else. Beautiful. Deb said, commit to one thing today and then we can follow through. Beautiful. Okay, here's the work. We're going to get into it now. Everybody's muted, so thank you for that. Oh, we might have lost Noah. No, Noah's still here. No, I'm going to mute you, honey, just so you know. Okay. Close your eyes. Just take a couple of breaths and notice how you feel. People, whenever I ask people how they feel, it's always fascinating to me, the person who can't respond with a feeling word. They go into I think, or they go into story, and they miss the feeling. And I'm like, they're detached from their feeling. A feeling word is I feel scared, I feel anxious, I feel confused, I feel unsure about what she's saying, I feel excited, I feel passionate, I feel inspired. Just notice how you're feeling right now. Now find the light inside of you. Now you may not see it, but you may feel it, or you may have an idea, an inner knowing of where it is. But there's a little light inside of you that is just dying to get out. I'm trying to find a better word than dying, but that would be the truth, right? Because there's a part of us that dies for that light to be born. So it's just like wants to get out. And if you can't see the light, I want you to choose where it is. And how do you do that? You can stick your finger on your belly button. Bring your inner awareness to where your finger is, and you're connected to the light. We think that we have to wait until we see things or our guides show up. And it's like, no, just choose that your guides are there, and then you'll be in communication. So just see that light, feel that light, pay attention to that light, and the inner awareness goes to that light. And I just want you to take a couple of breaths in it. And I want you to recognize that your breath gives it life, not my words, not the meditation, not some external factor. Your breath is giving that light life. And Spirit's asking me to ask all of you, and you don't have to be comfortable with this, but ask yourself right now as you breathe into that light, how ready you are to be seen and heard. How ready are you to be seen and heard? And don't be afraid if you're not. It does not mean failure right away. The consciousness around it alone is enough. How ready are you to be seen and heard? Breathe that into the light. And if the light gets dimmer, that's okay. If the light gets brighter, that's okay too. There are no right or wrongs. And don't worry about how you define being seen and heard. Being seen and heard is about you owning your truth, owning your voice, owning who you are, owning your space on this planet. And just breathe into that. Notice how you feel. Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I want you to stay in this internal space and to answer this question to yourself. How would you describe the word genius? What does the word genius mean to you? do you think possesses a certain kind of genius? Who in this, whether they're in the physical world or they're not in the physical world anymore, who possessed a certain kind of genius that you can acknowledge, that you can recognize? Why do you think they were able to live in that genius state? Why do you think they were able to live in that genius state? Now, whatever the reason is, I want you to breathe that in and give light, give breath and light to that light inside of you. Whatever you came up with, you possess it. You possess whatever you saw, whatever you heard, whatever you felt. And if you came up with nothing, that only means that spirit wants you to discover something really magical about yourself. I'm just listen to my words as I talk, breathe into the light. I'm always amazed how people are like, I didn't get anything. And they think that that's a no. It's never a no unless you make it a no. There's always something behind it. Okay, so I want you to breathe into this light and I want you to own it by saying your name into it 3 times. Whatever your name you use does not matter. It could be first and last, could be just be the first, it could be a nickname. I don't care what you use. It could even be teacher, healer, whatever you want, but I want you to do that right now 3 times, breathing into that light with that name. And I am going to add to this. Spirit's asking me to add. I want you to include some type of label or definition for yourself. Incredible teacher, compassionate person, amazing musician, wonderful person. I want you to add something to that right now. And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes. I want to know, as we dive into this work, and you can put it in the chat, who was your person and why? What genius did they possess? Who was your person and what genius did they possess? And I'd also like to, well, we'll go into that in a second. Who was your person and why? Does somebody want to unmute and share verbally to me? Go ahead, Jean.
So for me, it was the Dalai Lama, and the genius was expanded spirituality, I suppose. And why was for belief and support.
Why do you say suppose?
Because I doubt myself.
Is that really why? Tap into it. It could be. I just want to know. It might be.
It's to give myself room. So if I'm wrong, that's okay.
Okay, great. I love expanded spirituality. Love that word, no matter what it means, no matter what you had attached to it, no matter what you said after it, because it could be that he was so much more than expanded spirituality too.
Yeah.
I want you to really play with that word, Jean, in your genius.
Okay.
It's great. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I had a bunch, but Nikola Tesla was first. He coaches me in my growth and with the boardroom. Love that, Donna. Linda said Einstein because he had an exceptional understanding of space-time and numbers. Love it, Einstein. Georgia O'Keeffe, true to self and original. Beautiful, Sapphire. Hi, Sapphire. Einstein and Picasso, Kim. Great. Perfect for you. Hi. So good to see you. Albert Einstein, science. So great answers. Don't worry about it. So we're going to continue on. Now tell me why you thought they lived in that genius state. Why did you think they lived in that genius state? Kim, why don't you tell me why you thought the two that you chose lived in that genius state?
I don't know about Picasso. Like, I feel like he just had like this, and like he just like it just came out of him. I don't feel like he could even. I don't know his whole story, so I don't know.
Well, that's a good thing. So I don't want you to worry about their whole story. There's an energetic attraction. Why do you feel like Picasso was able to live in that state? Just guess. I love what Jean said, like, I doubt myself. That's a beautiful place to be, because your genius, diving into your genius is not about being right or wrong or having all the answers. There's infinite wisdom inside of that, right? So we don't want to cap anything out. Why do you think? And this is where I'm trying to get people away from the thought, like, I may get an F on the paper, or someone may tell me I'm wrong. And I'm trying to get people in the driver's seat of their life that their own thoughts are the infinite wisdom. Why do you think, honey?
Yeah. So for Picasso, it feels to me like there was just this creative ability that just came through him and out of him. And Einstein, I feel like this, like he had the support, like his mother support. From what I remember, like his mother, he had the support of his mother.
Great. Do you think he second guessed himself at all?
Einstein or Picasso? I don't know. I don't know.
He might have.
He might have. Yeah. I mean, thinking back, like in those times, like it's a possibility.
Who knows? Okay. And then Einstein, why did he live in that state?
I don't know. I feel like there was just like, he just had this knowing within him that it just came through him and out of him.
Perfect. Perfect. I want you all right now for this next piece to write down what their genius was and why they lived in that state. I really want you to make note of it. And if you come up with, I don't know, which Kim just did, but then work through it, she said it was a knowing. I really want you to get to an answer. I can't tell you enough on this call that you can't get it wrong. You don't even know where I'm going with these questions. So why try to figure out the result now? Why try to make it, like, fix it? And if anybody's struggling, please raise your hand or unmute and ask me a question, because this is a process that has no limitation and it works with the vibration of the people on the call. So if anybody has any questions for me, please ask, and you can ask in the chat too. Oh, I love this. Marsha said, Mother Teresa and an actress that came up in the Marvel movies. I don't know her name. They're both in their bodies, and the actor, she is comfortable in her body, and she's a badass, powerful, feminine, beautiful. Great. Okay. So now we're going to move into the next part of this work. Definition, according to Google, which I think was according to Oxford, of what genius is. Exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability. A person who's exceptionally intelligent or creative, either generally or in some particular respect. Now, after I read that definition, do you feel you possess genius, or did that definition just create a label that you feel far away from? So from a scale from 1 to 10, 1, I don't feel close to it, or 10, yes, I know I have a genius inside of me. It may not be described that way, but I am a genius. And I'll read the definition again and you can feel it out. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to show you how things have been defined for us and how we have to break the parameters of the definitions in order to be our fullest genius self. According to exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability, a person who's exceptionally intelligent or creative, either generally or in some particular respect. Put it in the chat. 1, 10, Donna. Yeah. And if you're at a 2 or a 3, that's okay. That's why you're here. People sometimes they're afraid when they're on group calls. I got to be like a 10 like everyone else, but I'm not. It doesn't serve you to not be honest, because nobody's judging you. I'm not going to throw you out of the Zoom room because you answered number 3. Okay, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 6 to 7. Beautiful. 8 to 10. Great. All right. Without even thinking, everybody get ready on their little chat. you're going to answer this question, and you may already have the answer. You have to answer this intuitively. Okay? This next question. Where does your genius live inside of you? Where does your genius live inside of you? I don't care if you say your finger. Brain, heart, gut, heart and soul. Beautiful. In my head. Don't think about it. Just type. Can't get it wrong. True genius lives in my spirit. Beautiful, Linda. Third eye. Love it, Dawn. Gorgeous. Noah may not be able to type because he's on the phone. That's okay. Just answer these for yourself, Noah. My heart. Beautiful, Marcia. Do you doubt that? Do you doubt that answer you just gave? No. No. You just tapped into your infinite wisdom. You run the ship. Okay? Let's keep going. Now, this is the part where I may trip you up a little bit. I want you to tap into that part now. You don't have to close your eyes. I walk around tapping into this stuff. You can too. I'm not any different than any of you. We all have access to all of this. Tap into it now. Okay? Tap into that feeling that you just were able to answer it right away. And I want you to answer these questions, and you can write them down on a piece of paper. You can put it in the chat, whatever you want, but you are going to have to pull it all together in the end. So you may want to have it on a piece of paper first. And this question trips people up like it amazes me. Only in the way of like, wow, there's so many different ways that people come to it in their mind. It may trip you up. Don't let it trip you up. So the way I ask this question, I don't care if it's something that you wanted to be yesterday or wanted to be 10 years ago. Just answer the question. So when I say, what did you want to be when you were young? Just answer it. It could be young a day ago. What did you want to be when you were young? I want you to write that down now. I'm going to play along with you. And you're not allowed to say, I don't remember. Because there's always a moment in time when we wanted to be something. But if you're struggling, you're allowed, please unmute and ask me, because that's where the best guidance comes, is when somebody asks a question and I'm able to guide further. I don't get insulted if you can't get it right. I don't do that. There's no right or wrongs. Why? I want you to write down real reasons why you wanted to be this thing. Think about it. So I can give you an example. Like, I wanted to be an actress. And I've talked about this before, but I came up with new reasons today after I've done this. And I was like, oh my goodness, there was actually more. And I wanted to be acknowledged because I knew inside of me I was special, but no one was acknowledging it. That was a new one for me. I knew I wanted to be seen and heard, but I didn't really know why. Now I understood that. I knew there was a light inside of me. We all knew it. But people around us didn't see it, or we could feel that they were jealous or envious, or we were too light for them. So we dimmed it. I wanted people to see it. I thought maybe if I found another audience. So write down your reasons why, but I'd like 2 to 3 reasons why. And if anybody's struggling, just unmute. I'm here for you. Okay. I'm going to give you just a couple more seconds and we're going to move on. The next question is, why didn't you pursue it? Or if you did pursue it, why did you leave it? There's something around this particular thing, or maybe you're struggling with it now, but there's usually a little bit of a struggle that is attached to it. I want you to tell me, I want you to write down what that is. So why didn't you pursue it? Or why did you struggle with it? Or why didn't you see it through? And what you're looking for is a belief that was born from it, a belief. And again, if anybody needs help, please ask. Okay, here's the next part of this. Look at that belief and the misconception it might have created, which it most likely did. Think about 3 things that you have done to work on that belief, work on that misconception, to overcome it, to become something else. But these are the things, the tools and techniques that you might have thrown towards it. It might have been prayer, it might have been meditation, it might have been yoga certification, it might have been studying your mediumship skills, it might have been studying healing, it might have been putting yourself through graduate school. Whether that thing panned out to be a success or not is not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is your innovation to change. The thing that you put towards it that helped you to change, to grow. You took this moment in time and you grew from it. Is there any of you that feel that you didn't do something to try and grow from it? Whether you succeeded or not, is there anybody on this call right now who felt that they didn't do something to try to grow from this misconception, this belief? Okay. So you write down 3 techniques or tools that you liked, that you learned, that you pursued from this thing. Marcia, I'm just going to check in with you. How are you doing with this, honey? If you're okay with speaking. Sorry, what'd you say, sweetie?
I don't have a notebook with me.
Oh, okay, good. So you're just doing it inside yourself. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. You're okay with it then? Okay, good. Thank you, honey.
Checking in.
Good. Okay. I'll give it another second, a few seconds. All right. Now write down how that has informed who you are today, how this whole experience has made you who you are today. And what I mean by that is go inside and really explore the character traits you've become today. Maybe you have more compassion. Maybe you're an incredible caretaker. Maybe you really see other people and hold space for them. Maybe you really believe in creativity now and you want to help people be creative. Just start tapping into who this has formed you to be today and how this has informed you of who you are today. So me wanting to be an actress and then people telling me I couldn't be, and then going to auditions and failing, it set me on my spiritual journey and broke my soul open, where I then really just kept working on myself because I didn't like how I was feeling. And that brought me to who I am today, where not only am I really good at channeling and reading for people, but I'm really good at encouraging people how to be their best. And I see people in a light and I see their soul. So you just, and I'm not asked, do not compare. I just gave an example for an example. That's it. Like I said, in my work, nobody's on a platform. We're all on equal field here. So do that now. Just start putting it together, because I'm going to ask you a question after this. Really own your magic, your truth, your incredible abilities. And if anybody's struggling with it, again, unmute. I'm here. And try not to, I see Kim thinking, try not to think too much about it. Feel into it. Really feel into it. Okay. Can you look at everything and look at where you've come from and what you've done for yourself? And are you able to see your greatest potential in this? Are you able to see your greatest potential? I'm just going to move on, and then I'll take Q&A. The whole idea of this exercise, like I said, this work, I've been doing this work for a while, but we don't always get to the specificity that I get on some calls with it, because it is it's a real unpacking, but it's also a real ownership of who you are from a place of love and acknowledgement. And we've been so trained not to acknowledge ourselves, not to see ourselves, not to congratulate ourselves. Look at us. You all showed up to this call. Like, I'm so impressed by every single one of you. And I don't blow smoke up people's butt, because there's a lot of people in my community there in my next level living class that are on this call. They know that I'll call them out on stuff. I have such gratitude for people who want to do the work. So now here's my next question. I want you to look at this entire exercise that we did, starting from that little light in your heart and soul to the person that was a genius, to what they had, which you possess. Whether you believe it or not, you're like the Dalai Lama, who's spiritually expansive. I know Jean, and that's a great term for her. And then going to the thing that you wanted to be, the disappointment that was around it, but how it catapulted you into a self-healing journey. And then who it made you today. Now here's my question, and please do not trip yourself up with this. Put it all together. Look at it. How would you want to help other people be their greatest selves by everything you just went through? How would you want people to experience their genius by you revealing yours? How would you want to help people by everything you just did today? And who do you want to help? How would you want to help them? And who would you want to help? Now, you may be an artist and be like, well, I just want to paint my pictures. But then you have to think about the people that see those pictures and they experience something through it. You may be, I know Noah was doing guitar in SAS. You may want to do music and your music touches people's souls. There is always something that we give birth to that has a rippling effect to other people. You may just want to be a mother. And I just want to be a mother. It's something I did not want to do. And I'm glad I didn't do, because it is being a parent, mother or father, hardest job on the planet, and a teacher. There's so many hard jobs out there, but you know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter the capacity of the space you hold for people, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, one person. But there is something that is so monumental for that person who's receiving it that you have. Write it down now. Can't get it wrong. And let me just say one more thing, because I know this from spiritual entrepreneurs. If I put it on paper now, that's it. I'm stuck to it and I'm married to it for life. I can never change it. This is just one brick in the foundation of this whole new foundation you're building. It could be a big cement slab that you're standing on a platform, or it could be a brick in a building that you're building. Okay, we're going to open it to Q&A, but before I do that, people who believe in themselves reach their greatest potential and continue to evolve and grow in it. I want you all to believe in yourselves. Easier said than done a lot of the times, or most of the times, or some of the times, depending on where you are. But I can guarantee, no matter how much, if one of you said to me, I didn't get it, I don't get it, I don't get it, and I'm not going to be able to get to everyone depending on how the questions go, I can guarantee from doing this work, from teaching this work for over 15 years, different iterations of it, that you now have all found a piece of your genius. I know that enough for teaching people how to communicate with their guides for over 15 years. And never have I been approached by someone who they tell me they can communicate with their guides, and I could work with them with a few sentences and they will feel something. And that's not an ego statement, because I really have no ego in this work. It's not even me who's doing this work. It's my guides working through me. It took me a really long time to stand in that statement, and it has nothing to do with me. Yet it has everything to do with me, because I agree to do it. I agree to show up. I agree to be seen. And I agree to be criticized by some people. I don't care. Because the the biggest disservice I would ever do to myself is to keep this locked away and to hide it. I'm not doing that anymore. What, to make somebody else happy? Not doing it. And neither are you. So let me know where you're at, what questions you may have. But everybody can, if I can get to everybody, I will. You're allowed like 1 to 2 sentences of a question. I don't want the story. Okay. So who wants to go first? Who wants to share? Just give me some feedback and obviously if you give me a little feedback, give it to me short, but people really think I have to know the entire thing. I don't. Did anybody struggle? Let's start there. Okay. I'm going to go to Jean first and then you, Linda. Go ahead, Jean. Because she raised her hand, then you raised it.
I didn't struggle. I just want to share what I got. So the thing that I got from the last question was healing other people's souls, opening them up, healing and opening others' hearts, giving people messages of hope, love, and support, and sharing my wisdom.
How do you feel about that?
Good. Really good.
It's really great for you. It's amazing work, Jean. Good.
Thanks.
Continue to own it now. I want you to walk in the footsteps. Remember how we started on deciding in the beginning of this call? Decide to own that and be that all the, and watch what happens. Your life is going to go.
I feel like I
Gonna
already
get
am.
on. Yeah. You feel like you're already out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Great work. Thank you. Linda.
I don't know if I have this. Okay, what did I want to be? A mom. Why? I wanted to be part of a happy, loving family. What happened? Our overculture and my organized religion and all my background told me at that time that the importance of the female in the home was the housework, the cooking, the laundry, not the nurturing of the children. And so I don't think I was as the mother that I wanted to be. Have I overcome it? Well, they're grown, but I try to focus on them and reassure them that they are loved so that at least they can be confident to know that they are loved. But I don't know what the potential is in this, so I'm lost there.
Good. Let me tell you something, Linda. Let me help you with it.
Okay.
First of all, honey, I'm not going to get into forgiveness for self because you're right about the overculture, the religion, all of that. I understand that.
Yeah.
And I do feel your communication of this with your kids is great. My heart opened up when you said all of that. So here's my question to you.
Okay.
You joined SAS for a reason. Give me in a sentence, what was the reason why you joined SAS?
Oh, it sounded like from the pillars that I would learn something about myself that I don't know. And I want to know what I don't know.
Okay, great. I'm not sure that was the result that you've gotten, but what was one result you got from it?
I really like the pillar about the signs, and I've been watching for more signs really actively.
Good. I love that. Let me ask you this, Linda. When it comes to wanting to help someone, just let's talk about a career because not everybody wants a career. Who would you want to help be after everything you've gone through? Who would be something or someone you'd want to help besides your kids? Is there anybody else that you would want to help after what you've been through?
Other mothers.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that, what you could help other mothers understand.
Maybe I could tell them my own story so they could say, just remember what really is truly important.
How does that feel?
Oh, well, that feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How does it feel in your heart and soul?
Well, I'm at peace with it, but I don't know that is it something I should do or how I would go about it or anyway.
Okay, that's a great response because people get caught up in the how or shoulds, so they stop the magic from evolving.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this, Linda. Would you be able to play around with this idea without worrying about the hows and the shoulds, but just try it on for size to see how it feels?
Yes.
Do you have any, do you think maybe the universe might put someone by your side who exactly needs to hear what you have to say if you're embracing this part of yourself? And
Yes.
maybe you're at a grocery store?
Mhm.
How does that feel?
Um, like a blessing.
Great. So you started out, you wanted to join SAS because you wanted to know something about yourself that you didn't know. Was that correct?
Yes.
Did you just find out something that you didn't know about yourself?
Yes, that I want to tell other parents uh, where their focus should be. Now, I said should. I would tell them my story and say, maybe you could consider where your focus is.
I'm going to give you two things real quick. One is, first I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel that could help a young mother who's feeling overwhelmed in the moment, like she's not doing enough? Could your story help her?
I think so because we all have the same amount of time. So what can you not do so that you can do what you really want?
Yeah. So you know what I would suggest for you that I think would be, I feel like what you said, and I don't want you to think like you're going to walk away from this. A lot of you are going to walk away and you're going to go, that felt great. And then a day later, you may be like, oh, I don't agree with her. And you may have all sorts of emotions that come up like that was bull. And I don't know what's going to come up, but it might. But my whole thing for you is I don't care. Let all that come up because when we decide to be different and we decide to be our greatest and we decide to continue to grow, uncomfortable stuff happens. My thing for you is I would love for you to get onto some mom Facebook groups and just watch what these moms are struggling with and offer up your love and advice for free in one of those groups. And I'll tell you the best advice is when people share from stories. I cannot stand when people give me advice on a post and they're coming from this ego intellectual place like they know it all and they've never been through it. It drives me insane. Did you understand what I just said?
Yes.
How does that feel?
Um, um, interesting. On the one hand, I like to talk to people. On the other, I'm technically challenged.
And then we don't make that a period. I never use periods. Everything's ... What next? What else can I do? Maybe there's a volunteer. Maybe there's an elementary school that they're doing something with the parents. Maybe there's something out there. Universe, show me where I could be of help.
Okay.
All right. I don't mind the technically, but you could also Google like, how do I do it? It's up to you. I don't mind that stuff, but I'm not going to allow it to stop people anymore from being their greatest, because what you just shared with me, I know moms can use and dads can use too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who else? And if anybody has to drop off, it's totally fine because we're at the hour. But it's totally fine. Oh, so before Donna goes, if you like this, and I want to check in with Noah, Donna, and I am going to check in with Noah unless he dropped off already. He did. That's okay. If you're interested in learning more about next level living, which is what SAS leads you to feel about. We do have SFA on its own, but I haven't really shared that. Here is the application. You have to apply for it. I don't do real selling on this, but if you're interested in learning more, Donna, Sapphire, Kim, Jean, Deb, they're all in Next Level Living. So just, check it out, fill it out. I'll be in touch with you and we'll get on a call. I have no interest in selling anybody anything. I only have an interest in finding out if it's right for you or not. So if you're interested in learning more, let me know. Okay, go ahead, Donna.
Okay, so, what did I want to be? The first thing that came was famous. And then teacher kept on hitting me in the head right after that. So famous teacher. And it was really to be a leader. So at the end of it, my genius is a leader for the underdog and those who want to have my support, teaching others it's possible. And the funny thing was when we were done, the podcast icon on the bottom of my screen kept on jumping up and down. There's no reason for it to be jumping up and down at me. It's jumping up and down.
And we've talked a bit about that, you getting your story out there in that way. I love that. It was interesting at first when you said the word underdog, I didn't like it, but knowing more about your story and everything that you've got, that you need to speak upon, I feel like it's perfect because those, especially when we talk about a particular type of individual that's going through certain types of struggles and are labeled a certain way in this world, they are considered underdogs and they're not.
Yep.
So it would be interesting for you to play with that branding and see how that word works in type of branding stuff. Bye, Linda. Nice to meet you. Great.
I did sign on to do 2 books. One is a compilation and one is my own. The
Good.
compilation focuses more on business and my own focuses more on people. Just
Good.
need for unity. So that was coming out of the hot seat call, Marilyn. You encouraged me with that.
Keep doing it, Donna. You're doing great. You're doing great. And the sooner you get out, like, so a lot of people wait until the medium is there. And I'm like, well, we have the medium of social media that's free. Like, I don't even advertise on Facebook anymore. I may go back to it, but there's no need for it because there's a built-in medium that I can always work with. And now my posts are getting pushed out even more because they're getting so much interaction. So yeah, good. Love it, Donna. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Okay, who else wants to go real quick? Marsha, Dawn, Kim.
I just want to share a picture. I drew this this is kind of like what came out of it all.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I love that. And it's a face. Put that in Next Level Living. I love it.
So yeah, that's just what came. I don't know. I kind of am learning to like use more of my creativity, which is something I'm learning. So
That's great. I love it. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
thank you.
Kim, Marsha, do you have anything? You need to go too? Okay. So you don't want to say anything, honey?
I want to say something. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay, great. I'll talk to you tomorrow, sweetie.
Got a lot of the call.
Good. I'm glad. Good, good, good. Thanks, honey. Deb, do you have anything you want to share?
I was going to say not really.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same, but I thank you for this. It's great. And the key to genius. Sorry, I got hungry.
That's okay.
Is to believe in yourself, and that's what I'm working on.
Good. Believe in yourself. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hi, Donna. So the way that I would end this for all of you is to make sure that you're engaging this part of yourself. It's really important that you continue to recognize this part of yourself and recognize that there's a need in the world for people to receive this part of yourself. And the thing that I think is the most important thing that I would say to you guys is the way we define it today is not the way that we're going to be defining it tomorrow, next week, 10 years from now. So allow it the room to grow, evolve, change. That's why I don't want people putting periods on the end of anything. It's so important that there's always a ... There's always more. There's always something behind it. There's always more information. So I love everything that you discovered. And I really want you to continue to unwrap it and unpack it and be with it. Okay. Do any of you have questions before we go? If you have any questions for me, let me know. Okay. Kim, you have any questions? Jean and Deb is saying no. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad you joined me. Have a great
Thank
night.
you.
I'll see you soon. Love to all of you. Bye.
You.